And I'm going to go live on Facebook. Hello, hello, welcome everyone. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here with everyone. If you're checking in on Facebook, sometimes I can't see you, but type in the chat, or if you like, and maybe I'll see you, maybe I won't, but I usually, at any point, I can see you afterwards, but maybe I'll see you now. But if I don't acknowledge, it's because I'm not seeing you. Facebook keeps changing things. But anyway, welcome everyone. And today we are talking about one of my biggest pet peeves. So I'm really excited to share this information with you because I recently did a talk on sleep, and this came up in my research. And now I've always known that this was a bad habit and a bad practice. And now I have proof, right, as such, and I'm eager to share with you. And this is one of, if not the biggest stressors of all time. And it's really stressing us out. And fixing this one thing can go a long way to repairing our well-being, right? But it's highly controversial. And I know there's a lot of different thoughts about this out there. So today, I'm going to share the truth about multitasking, okay? And I am looking at notes if you're with me in video, because there's so much scientific evidence that this is bad for us that I want to refer to it as I go along so I don't miss anything, okay? So essentially, and these are pretty recent studies, last two or three years, and most notably, I think, is that, and most scary statistic is that recently an MIT neuroscientist, Dr. Earl Miller, proved that the brain can only do one thing at a time, right? So can only do one cognitive thing at a time. And effectively, if you're trying to multitask, all you're doing is going back and forth between two tasks. And you've probably heard that before. And what's really scary is that Dr. Miller proved that this is causing damage to our neural pathways. So not only is it, and that means it's causing brain damage. So we know that it's causing damage to our neural pathways. What we don't know is if the damage is permanent, okay? So that's either way, that's pretty scary. Additionally, right, so then I can hear probably our younger friends thinking that I can multitask. You know, I know this, I've had this argument with my son on more than one occasion. And this, although I've given up trying to convince him. But, you know, I've heard that. And actually other people who are a little older and should know better. And that I can multitask, right? I'm better than most people. You know, I have this cognitive gift that I can actually do things at two times. And no, you can't, okay? So, and not only can you not, you actually suck at it than the people who don't try to do more than one thing at a time, who don't try to multitask. And a recent Stanford University study proved as such. And they found that, because this study actually studied the heavy multitaskers, right? The people who did this all the time and were proud of their multitasking abilities or their assumed multitasking abilities and thought that they were getting more done than their average non-multitasker. So, and what Stanford University found is that these heavy multitaskers were actually slower at moving from one task to the other, which is what multitasking, I'm using air quotes because there's really no such thing as doing more than one thing at a time, that they were actually slower from switching between tasks, right? Between one task to another, which is all our brains can do. Additionally, these multitaskers, no, they cannot focus on more than one thing at a time. These heavy multitaskers had more trouble organizing their thoughts, right? They had more trouble filtering out irrelevant and unnecessary information, which essentially was compromising their productivity. They had more difficulty paying attention, recalling information. Their memory was impaired. And when it actually came time to switch gears, to move from one job to another, they had more trouble doing that, organizing their brains and actually transitioning from one task to another. A recent study, and so that's you can't, there's no such thing as multitask. No, you can't do it. No, you're not special. It's actually making your productivity and your performance worse, significantly so. And it's making you stupid, okay? The University of London found that people who multitasked during cognitive tasks actually experienced IQ drops of 15 points or more, right? Which is significant. This is similar, this drop in IQ is similar to one having smoked marijuana or having stayed up all night. This is not good, right? So this is really harming us in every way, shape, or form. Additionally, multitasking is increasing the stress hormones in our brain, okay? It's increasing cortisol and adrenaline, which is sending our body into stress response, right? Sending our body and our physiology into stress response. So much so that, well, you know, it's not one, we all know, we've been together long enough now that we know that being in stress response when you're not in real danger is a problem and bad for our physiology. And the bigger problem with that, so we're in stress response all day, and what happens is that when it comes to bedtime, we've been wound up all day that we can't get to sleep, right? Because our hormones are out of balance. And what happens is when we go to sleep, our sleep hormone, you know, so our regular hormones start to relax and our sleep hormones, melatonin, start to gear up so we can go to sleep. And if our hormones have been out of balance all day, then our sleep hormones, our nighttime hormones, can't adjust accordingly and get us to sleep. So this stressful multitasking, even if you're not multitasking, right? Even if you're not consciously trying to do more than one thing at a time, the constant distractions from electronics has the same effect on our physiology of sending us into stress response by increasing the stress hormones in our brain, and effectively has the same effect when it, you know, keeps us stressed out all day, and then when we get to bed, we can't get to sleep, or we can't stay asleep, or we can't stay asleep once you fall asleep. So additionally, dopamine is also, additionally to the stress hormones, dopamine is also, we get little dopamine hits every time we get a ding or an email or something, because we have this sense of immediate gratification. It's false, right? The immediate gratification is false, but the dopamine hit is real, and, you know, combined with the stress hormones, we're just, you know, making our physiology a hot mess all day, and then you can't sleep at night. So what to do, right? So do one thing at a time, right? That's what we're meant to do. That's what our brains are best at doing. And that's what our physiology wants. That's what our being wants. That's what our spirit wants, is to be focused on one thing at a time, right? So how do you do that, right? So Deepak recommends slicing your day into a pie, right? That you have the pie, and you have a slice of, you have work time, family time, friend time, social media time, self-care time, exercise, meditation, a bubble bath, whatever your self-care, yoga, whatever your self-care ritual is, etc. And that when you're in that slice, you give your attention to that one thing at a time. At work, right? So you would say at work, we need to, and any of these need to be broken down into smaller pies, right? So I know that today the culture is such that we need to get back to someone right away, right? We need to be on the emails. We need to be watching our emails constantly. This is stressing us out, right? This is multitasking. That back and forth between what I'm doing and looking at my email is multitasking. Studies have shown that even having like the little notification, not even being able to see what the email is just having that little notification in the corner, knowing that there's a new email waiting for you, can have this increased stress response in our physiology. So turn off notifications. And here's the controversial part, right? I know this is highly controversial, that because everyone's in the now, and I want to know now, and I need to know now, and people are going to get pissed off if I don't get back to them in 2.5 minutes. But we feed that culture, right? So now I'm inviting you to be the change, right? To be the change that you want to see, to doing one thing at a time. And that, you know, when you are responding to someone, right? People want you to respond promptly, but they also want your undivided attention when you do so, right? So turn off notifications, okay? I have done this, and it has brought considerable peace into my life, right? So because my device going off all the time was really making me crazy, and that's what it does. It makes you crazy, right? So, and then create email checking time slots. And maybe this can actually be every hour or every half hour. Actually, studies have also shown that if you give your undivided attention to a task at hand for 25 to 30 minutes, you can pump out a good amount of productivity. And then that would be a good time to take a break, stand up, maybe check your email. So at most at an hour, right? You could do this every hour. You could set a reminder in Outlook, right? To check your email, stand up, go for a walk, take a drink of water, perhaps, okay? The same is true for social media and the news, your television and texting, right? When you're sitting down to watch a story, right? To watch your favorite TV show, watch your favorite TV show and enjoy it, right? Not have your favorite TV show playing on the television, looking at your Facebook, looking at something else, looking at your news feed or something else on your mobile device, and then sending a text message all at the same time. It's no wonder that we're all coming apart at the seams. This is not good for us. And again, it's stressing us out so much so that we're hormonally imbalanced, we're spiritually imbalanced. It's killing our performance and our productivity, right? So if that's your excuse for trying to multitask, you're failing miserably. It's actually making you, as I just discussed, it's actually making you less productive, lowering your performance, and killing your intelligence, and keeping us up at night. Any one of those reasons is enough. Any one of those reasons is enough to actually stop and consider, how can I change this? And I invite you today, right? So I invite you today, how can you change this? Okay. What one thing can you do to stop multitasking? If this is something you do, and I'm guessing that this is probably something that we're all at least a little guilty of, even if you're not one of those heavy multitaskers, like some people I know, we're probably guilty of this to some degree. I know I am, right? And I'm starting to learn how to turn off other notifications. I have all the notifications turned off on my iPhone, right? When I'm working. So I look at it when I look at it. I look at it when I'm ready to look at it. And I'm learning, I'm a new Mac user, and I'm learning how to do that as well, how to turn off. I just learned how to turn off the notifications on my mail, because I only want to look at it at certain times of the day. And then I want to be intentional about looking at mail, and intentional about looking at my text messages, so that when I'm focused on work, I'm focused on work. So what do you do? What multitasking do you still do? And will you commit now to making one small change to do less of it, or one big change, right, to do less of it, like turning all the notifications off on your phone? You can tell me about that after we meditate. But it's a little earlier than usual, so Let me see. I'm going to unmute the folks on the conference line, see what comments you have. Unmute all.
A science project on memory, and
I'm
I
sorry?
can see now the connection of multitasking and why it would affect your memory.
Can you start over,
What
Johanna? I just
learned.
unmuted you.
Oh, oops. I was saying that a while back, my daughter did a science project on memory, and what I learned from that, I can relate to how multitasking would affect your memory.
Excellent. Yes.
Or would affect it, in a negative way, that how your brain works.
Yes.
For memory.
Yes. Yes. Being enabled to recall information, right? That's memory. That's what the Stanford University study found, and I'm sure others as well, right? So this is really dangerous. It's really bad. It's really bad for us. It's stressing us out, and when we're stressed out, it's killing our joy. So I'm on a campaign to kill multitasking or eliminate multitasking. And we'll start that by going within. Right now, I'm going to mute everyone again. Okay. And let's get comfortable and prepare for meditation, shall we? Okay. Let's get comfortable. Connect with our breath. In and out through the nose, eyes closed. Just for a moment, consider what one thing you can do. You can set the intention to do today, to be more present and more focused. When you are completing a task, spending time with a loved one, or even watching your favorite TV show. One thing. And then let's let that go. Take a couple of deeper than normal breaths in and out through the nose. Again. And now let's begin the silent repetition of the mantra. So, hum. Think so on the inhalation and hum on the exhalation, or not. So, hum. Remember that repetition of the mantra is gentle and relaxed. There's no need to force or concentrate. Just think it easily, effortlessly. And when your mind drifts away, and we know that it will, just notice and gently return. Just so. Hum. So, hum. Now let's continue meditating gently. I'll watch the time and let you know when to stop. Enjoy. Continuing with your eyes closed. Stop thinking the mantra and just sit easily. When you're ready, when it's comfortable, slowly open your eyes. Was the meditation comfortable?
Yes.
Good. Beautiful. All right, my dears. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone want to say hello who didn't say hello earlier?
Hello,
Okay. Hi, who's this?
this is Louise.
Hey, Louise. Glad you made it.
So am I.
Okay. All righty then. I'll see you next time. I'll look forward to next time. And until then, I'll see you in the gap, right? Namaste. Be blessed. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're
Bye.
welcome.